Hey there! Welcome to Better Bloom, where we share knowledge and level up your whole self through amazing books. All right, bookworms, gather round. Ever feel like you're drowning in a sea of books and just need that one perfect recommendation? Well, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving deep into a timeless classic, a book that's not just for kids, but for anyone who's ever felt a little lost in this crazy world. I'm talking about Foire, the Little Prince Foire by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Now, before we get started, if you're feeling generous and want to support the author, and trust me, this one deserves it, I've dropped a link down in the comments and description where you can snag your own copy. Every little bit helps keep the magic alive. So, let's get into it, shall we? I once heard a quote from a famous translator, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it went something like this. There are books that, even at 70 or 80 years old, still feel incredibly young. And honestly, that's the perfect Times way to describe Times, The Little Prince, asterisk. It's a masterpiece, a fairy tale for adults. And it's one of those books that truly resonated with me on a deep, personal level. Behind each seemingly simple, childlike story, you'll find a glimpse of the desires and ambitions that lurk within all of us grown-ups. It might seem like a thin little book with simple language, but it's actually a powerful balm for the soul, a soothing remedy for a world that often feels too complicated. After reading Times the Little Prince, asterisk, you'll realize that the most profound wisdom is often hidden within the purest of hearts. Asterisk, asterisk, tidying up your little planet and your life. Asterisk, asterisk. Let's start with the Little Prince himself. He lives on asteroid B, 612, a tiny little planet with hardly anything on it, just a couple of active volcanoes, which he diligently cleans every morning, and those pesky baobab seeds. These seeds arrive innocently enough with the wind, but they're deceptively dangerous because they have the potential to grow into these massive, destructive trees. If he doesn't stay on top of things, his entire planet will be overrun by those crazy baobabs. Even though the baobabs could technically bring life to his empty planet, maybe attract migrating birds or provide shade from the scorching sun, he still has to clear them out regularly. And you know what? Our own lives are often filled with similar baobabs. Think about it. Those clothes you only wore once or twice, but are now taking up precious real estate in your closet. Those books you never got around to reading, now gathering dust on your shelves. Those discounted items you bought on a whim, but rarely if ever, use now cluttering up some forgotten corner of your house. There's this concept in psychology called the Diderot effect, which basically says we tend to spend money on things we don't really need. When you buy something new, you suddenly feel the urge to buy other things that match it to achieve some kind of psychological equilibrium. You get a new outfit, and suddenly you need the perfect shoes and handbag to go with it. You buy a new sofa and realize the coffee table in your living room no longer fits the vibe, so you have to replace that too. In our modern age of rampant consumerism, we're constantly bombarded with the urge to overconsume. We rarely consider simplifying, reducing, or eliminating things. Instead, we're always trying to accumulate, upgrade, and create more stuff. Akirawa Mayumi, author of Time's Goodbye Things, the new Japanese minimalism asterisk, once said that owning an object means you have to expend your own energy on it. Even if you're not consciously aware of it, a great life isn't about times how much times you have, it's about times how much times you have to do the things that make you happy. If our hearts are constantly weighed down by material desires, if we're always chasing after things, we're likely missing out on the joys of the present moment. We might even end up exhausted, depleted, and miserable. To find the true essence of life, we need to shed those external layers and regularly clear out the baobabs in our own lives. Asterisk, asterisk. Letting go of empty ambitions. Asterisk, asterisk. Before landing on Earth, the Little Prince visited 6 other small planets, each inhabited by a single, peculiar adult, The first adult he encountered was a king living alone on his planet, ruling over absolutely nothing. The king issued strict decrees to the subjects he imagined, clinging tightly to his throne, clutching his scepter, never budging an inch. The little prince, understandably freaked out, quickly bid him farewell. Another adult the little prince met was a strange businessman who spent his days at his calculator writing receipts and locking them away in a drawer. The little prince was puzzled. Who was this man working for? The businessman said he was counting the stars, claiming they were his money, his fortune stored in a bank. He was so consumed by his desire for wealth that he couldn't break free. He was trapped behind his desk, living like a counting machine. Whether it's the king or the businessman, these adults aren't that different from many of us, are they? We often find ourselves falling into a bottomless pit, driven by our ambition for status and wealth, blindly rushing toward a goal we can never truly reach. Once we fall too deep into this pit, we can never truly feel satisfied. And isn't that the greatest tragedy of all? When we crave too much, we become moths drawn to the flame of our own desires, led astray by fame and fortune, constantly chasing, never reaching the destination, only to be left with exhaustion and burnout. We lose the time to appreciate and experience the things that are actually present on our path, and the meaning of life slips further away. Asterisk, asterisk, ditching relationships that don't serve you. Asterisk, asterisk. The little prince finally arrives on Earth and lands in a deserted desert for days. He doesn't see a single soul. He shouts into the lonely valley and hears only the echo of his own voice. In an attempt to escape his loneliness, he pours his heart out to everyone he meets, but is met with disappointment. He throws himself at the mercy of a snake, only to discover the snake wants to eat him. He enthusiastically shares his past with a railway switchman, but the man ignores him. He meets a pill salesman, who only wants to trick him into buying his pills to alleviate his loneliness. The little prince tries his best to connect with the people on Earth, but these cold, apathetic individuals are only interested in exploiting him for their own gain. It wasn't until he met the fox that everything changed. Even though he just met the fox in the desert to watch the sunset, they still give each other feelings and emotions. And the fox tells the little prince that what is truly valuable can't be seen with the eyes, but can only be seen with the heart. The little prince experiences sincerity and kindness for the first time, and his loneliness finally disappears. Have you ever found yourself in a similar situation, stuck in meaningless social interactions like the little prince? When you're feeling lonely, you want to find a friend to talk to, but when you scroll through your contacts, you end up quietly turning off your phone. When disaster strikes, the friends you used to eat and party with suddenly become strangers. As the years go by, you realize that there are very few people who can truly be your friends. Instead of blindly expanding your social circle, it's better to narrow your network and dedicate your energy only to those who deserve it. The sincerity of 2 or 3 true friends is worth more than the empty chatter of 100 casual acquaintances. Asterisk, asterisk, keeping your heart clear. Asterisk, asterisk. After saying goodbye to the fox, the little prince wanders aimlessly, exhausted and bitter. The scorching heat and blowing sand make him miserable. After a few days, he meets the pilot who crashed his plane in the desert. Stranded for 8 days, the pilot is overcome with anxiety, imagining all sorts of tragic scenarios. What if he can't fix the engine? Who will complete the assigned flights? Will there be enough water until tomorrow? He has so many regrets, and as his water supply dwindles, the pilot completely breaks down and develops a high fever. The little prince, on the other hand, remains calm and collected. He sets out to find water, looking up at the starry sky and talking to the pilot about his wondrous adventures. And it's through this relaxed conversation that he discovers a source of water, allowing them both to escape danger. In life, we're often attacked by 2 arrows. The first arrow comes from the outside world, representing the difficulties and failures we inevitably face. The second arrow, however, is the one we shoot at ourselves, the negative emotions we create within ourselves. This arrow is always ready to strike when your heart is overwhelmed and disturbed by negative thoughts. Psychologist Arthur Gerseld once said, Nobody lives in an objective world. There's never a complicated situation in life, only a complicated mind. It's easy to go from simple to complex, but it's always difficult to strip away the complexity and return to simplicity. That process requires self-discipline and awareness. But once you commit to shedding the material possessions, desires, and unnecessary thoughts, you can reveal your true self. So, there you have it. Asterisk. The Little Prince Times isn't just a children's book. It's a guide to living a more meaningful life, a reminder to cherish the things that truly matter, and a gentle nudge to ditch the things that weigh us down. If you found this review helpful, give Better Bloom a thumbs up, share it with anyone who might need it, and subscribe to my channel with the bell icon so you can get notified for the next video. And remember, let's all try to shed the clutter, live simply, clear away the fog of materialism, ambition, and apathy, and embrace the little prince within each of us. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and tell me what you think.